For iOS apps, which you of course can only build on a Mac OS system, you can run ionic capacitor run iOS-L to bring up that live reload server. And again, this will spin up that server, build the app, set up everything so that the live server and the app are connected, and then open Xcode for you so that you can now start the app on an emulator of your choice. So here's Xcode loading that app. And in there, choose the simulator you want to use, like iPhone XS here maybe, and launch it with the app play button here. This launches this native app Ionic Capacitor gives you with your Ionic app inside of it. So let's wait for this simulator here to start up. And now for the iOS app, you can't use the Chrome DevTools or Chrome Inspect as we did for Android. But you can use a feature in the Safari browser, which you only have on Mac OS systems, but hey, you can only build iOS apps there anyway, so this is fine. In there, go to the Develop menu, choose that simulator you should find here for your iPhone, and then click the IP you see here. That should open up the Web Inspector Safari offers. And that is a tool where you can also see outgoing network requests, the DOM as it's being rendered. You can inspect all these elements there, and in the last lecture of this module, you find some detailed information on how the Web Inspector works. For example, here, top right corner, if you click that, you see the styles that are applied to an element and the computed styles which actually are applied. So that is also something which looks quite familiar to Chrome. You also have that debugger, and on first look, that's a bit hard to use, but what you can do down there is, in the filter field, you can search for a file, let's say the recipe page, or just type recipe as a start, and you will actually find your raw TypeScript files here as well. So if I type recipes page like this, I find my recipes page TypeScript file, and I can set a breakpoint here as well. Now, to showcase how this works, I'll not set it here actually, but I'll go to my details and then go back so that this is lazy loaded. And now I will look for that recipe detail page. So recipe detail, here it is. And now I will set a breakpoint here after I got my recipe ID, just what I did before on Android as well. And with that breakpoint set, now if I go here, this actually also pauses and I'm here, and I can now also inspect what's in my recipe ID, what's in param-map. So you can now also walk through the code step by step here. Here are your controls to step to the next part, to step into a function, step out of a function, and so on, and then ultimately continue with the blue button. Again, detailed docs on the Web Inspector can be found in the last lecture. Besides the debugger, you also have timelines here. That allows you to find out how long a network request takes, for example. You have your console here to see all your nice console logs you're getting in your application. Down there, here they are. You're also able to inspect the storage your application uses, things like local storage. And in general, you can inspect a lot of things about your iOS app or about the Ionic app running in your iOS or on your iOS device in this native app. You can get that information here. Again, check out that last lecture for detailed instructions on the Safari Web Inspector if you want to learn all about it. Another important thing to be aware of, in our Android Studio I showed you the built-in log, you have that here as well. Here, this thing is also a console log, and indeed a bit more readable than the one in Android Studio. So besides the Web Inspector, you can also see log output in here. This is automatically showing up as soon as you run an app, which I'm currently doing.